Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Here is Paleolithic Seafarers. This one's going to be for 2 to 4 players only, although it does have additional stuff inside. You can see a really cool dog here on the boat, and that's going to tell you a lot about what this expansion is going to be about. First of all, you're going to get a rule book. It's going to have a picture of all the components. Once again, they didn't lack numbers of how much stuff should come in. That's kind of disappointing. You're going to have the extended rules of how to play this, each of the upgrade functions and how they utilize and work. There isn't a player aid for each of the people, so that's kind of a bummer there. And you do get a little bit more of the comic book on the back, so that's really, really nice. We're going to get a new faction, which will include a boar, which is kind of cool. You can add him in. You're going to get a new legendary character. Costs a food to use, and if you give up food, you can get more resources. And the same witch's altar that you had before on there, so that's still included. You're going to get some additional cards that are always nice. Just kind of shuffle these in, and you're going to get the new trading cards that will be utilized in this game. So I'll show you how those work in just a moment. Everybody's going to get a board that will allow them to build the outpost. A little bit of a player aid here, but it doesn't really tell you per se what it does, but you'll be able to put your outposts on here as you're building them. And then you're going to have the new player color, which will be like a teal, light green kind of color. Then you're going to have this board over here that will come around the board on this side, and you will be able to build this down as the boat is traveling or traversing through the water. So that's kind of how that will work. You're going to get your ship, which will be in here, and you're going to put him on the little standee, which is really nice. This game does not need miniatures, and you're going to put him here, and he'll be going up through this way. These are going to be the outposts. They're pretty nice, as you can tell, that they fit around the board and fit nicely onto it, so you can still have your spaces when you put them out, and then you'll put your little tents inside of them, and it works out really nice. So, nice little addition. So let me explain how some of this works. This is an outpost. So when you have it down on the board, when other players' cavemen or animals enter the ring of the tribe, they must pay 1 food tile to the player owning this outpost. So if somebody has this and they come into your area, they must pay a food. This is the hut. So when you have this out, then you get your third worker. And that's really important because the base game came with 3 cavemen and 1 animal, but you only ever used 2. This is how you would use the additional third caveman, by building that. The last one, and most complicated, is going to be the marketplace. And you'll be utilizing this one as you put it out on the board. Then, once you put that out, you will roll the 6-sided dice, and it will tell you how far this will move. So then you go 1, 2, 3, and move the ship up on the tracker. Once he reaches the destination, then you will take out and put the trading cards on top of 3 of the cards out on the board. And they will have a cost associated with them. Now, you can only purchase these if you have built the market, and they're worth quite a bit of victory points, as you can tell. Once these 3 cards are purchased, the ship will come back to the start, and he'll start his journey once again of being able to trade. So that's how you utilize Seafarers. You're going to have the ship that's moving up to put the trading cards out. You're going to get additional faction that you have in the bag. You're going to get a new legendary character that will come out, and you'll get the new upgrading the huts. Now this makes me feel like it's a fully formed game. At the beginning, I was like, these huts, there were 3 points, they don't do much else, and that's fine for the younger gamers. I also find this to be the most complex. Not only do you have upgrading of these, but you have this kind of ship mechanic that feels a little tacked on here and brings out the trading cards. Well, that's what the ship is doing, right? It's bringing out additional cards that you can utilize if you build a market. So it does seem like building the market would probably be the best of the 3, although getting additional work routes is always very good too. So your mileage may vary and have different costs associated with them. I do like Seafarers a lot. It's one that I like to play with. I do like upgrading the huts. That's very, very, very nice, and it doesn't feel tacked on as much as it feels like a natural progression of the game. I would utilize this as my kids got older, and I would stay with the base game for as long as possible, let them enjoy it. When they're ready for a little bit more, I would go ahead and tack this in. I think the other expansion, Dawn of Humanity, is a little bit easier to bring in because it really lets more players. This one's going to bring this whole new mechanism. It's a little bit more complex. For us gamers out there, it's not going to feel as complex because we're used to this sort of stuff. But for the younger children, I feel like this is going to be maybe 7 or 8. It says 8+. That probably feels pretty right about adding in this additional layer of complexity. But this is one you want to seek out. Seafarers has been a winner for us.